Hey friends, so for this tutorial, you're going to need some worsted weight yarn. I will be working with a Pound of Love from Lion brand. It is in pastel green. And any worsted weight yarn will work. I'm using the yarn that I actually use for my samples for the Levi scarf. You'll need a size 8mm crochet hook. This is a Clover Amore ergonomic hook. You'll need some tapestry needles. Well, you only need one. I have a set. And you'll need a pair of scissors. All right, once you've got all of your tools gathered together, we can go ahead and get started. All right, we are going to start with a slip knot. For this tutorial, I'm only going to make a very miniature version of this scarf, and at the end I will insert a picture of what the finished adult size scarf will look like. For my swatch, I'm only going to start by making a chain of 14 stitches. If you are following along with the pattern from the website, you'll make 166 stitches for the child size and 232 stitches for the adult size Levi scarf. That's my chain of 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And remember the number that you would need if you are making the adult or child size. So for our row 1, we are going to be working in the second chain from the hook, working in the back bumps all the way down your set of foundation chains. You will work 1 half double crochet in each stitch across. All right, so this will be your row 1, all half double crochets. You now should have, for the child size, 165 stitches. For the adult size, 231 stitches. For your row 2, you'll set that up by turning your work, chain 1, and from here on out, we will be working in the back loops of each stitch across for each subsequent row. We'll only be working in the back loops. For row 2, we are going to work 1 slip stitch in the back loop of each stitch across your row. I'm going to go ahead and finish this row and check back in once you've finished your row. All right, now that we've reached the end of our row 2, we are going to turn our work, chain 1. Now we're ready for row 3. Row 3 is going to be half double crochet fillet, or fillet half double crochet. To do that, we're going to work and half double crochet into the back loop of the first stitch, make a chain 1, skip the next stitch, then work a half double crochet into the next stitch, and we're going to repeat that across the row. Chain 1, skip the next stitch, half double crochet, chain 1, skip the next stitch, half double crochet. And you're going to continue working this until you get to the end of the row, ending in a half double crochet in the last stitch. That should be what your row 3 looks like. Turn your work. Now we're ready for row 4. Chain 1, we're going to slip stitch in the back loop of each stitch across. Essentially, we're going to be repeating row 2. I'm going to slip stitch across in the back loops of each stitch, and I will catch you once I'm ready to show you row 5. All right, so we've reached the end of row 4. We're ready to turn our work. Chain 1, and we're ready to begin row 5. Row 5 is going to be working a half double crochet in the back loop of each stitch across. And I'm going to continue working my half double crochets. I will catch back up with you once you're ready to get to row 6, or to continue to row 6. Okay, so we have reached the end of row 5. We are ready to turn our work and chain 1 to begin row 6. Row 6 is going to be a repeat of row 2. We will slip stitch in the back loop of each stitch across. Okay, that's the end of row 6. Turn your work, chain 1, we're ready for row 7. Row 7 is going to be a repeat of row 5. We'll be working a half double crochet in the back loop of each stitch across. I'm going to go ahead and work my row 7, and I'll check back in when we're ready to proceed to row 8. Okay, so we have finished our row 7. We are going to turn our work and chain 1 to begin row 8. Row 8 is a repeat of row 2. We are going to slip stitch in the back loop of each stitch across. If you've picked up the pattern up until this point, you'll know that every even numbered row, rows 2 through 10, if you're making the child size, or rows 2 through 16 if you're making the adult size, will always be a repeat of row 2, meaning you will slip stitch in the back loop of each stitch. All right, so now we can proceed to row 9. Turn your work, chain 1. Row 9 is going to be a repeat of row 3. We are going to do the fillet half double crochet across the row. And remember, that's half double crochet, chain 1, skip 1, half double crochet, excuse me, half double crochet, chain 1, skip 1, half double crochet. You'll do that across the row, ending in a half double crochet. Row 9. You're going to turn your work, chain 1, row 10, an even number row, so slip stitch across your row. Catch you for row 11. We finish row 10, turn your work, row 11. Row 11 is going to be a repeat of row 5, where you are just going to half double crochet in the back loop of each stitch across. If you are working the child pattern, row 11 will be your last row, and you will fasten off your work only for the child pattern. right, so if you are making the child size, remember here is where you would fasten off your yarn. If you are making the adult size, you are going to continue on, turn your work, chain 1, row 12, another even row, slip stitch in the back loops of each stitch across, 1 slip stitch. Turn your work, row 13, it's going to be a repeat of row 5. You're going to have double crochet in each stitch across, in the back loop of each stitch across. Row 14, we're going to turn our work, chain 1, slip stitch in the back loop of each stitch across. Turn your work, chain 1. We are on row 15. We are going to repeat row 3 and work a fillet half double crochet in the back loop of each stitch across. Row 16, even row, slip stitch in each stitch, the back loop of each stitch across. So we have made it to the last row. You are going to turn your work, chain 1, repeat row 5 by working 1 half double crochet in the back loop of each stitch across, and then fasten off your work. We finished. We made it. All right, that is the end of your row 17. If you're working the adult size, you're going to pull through, fasten off your work, and voila, there you have it. That is your Levi scarf. Of course, like I said, I made an abridged, a much smaller version just so I could be able to show you row by row what the instructions would look like for the pattern. Yours will be much longer than mine, and there you have it. If you feel like you need some width or some more drape, feel free to wash and block your piece. If you're using 100% acrylic yarn like I'm using here, you'll want to steam block it so that way you don't have to worry about crushing your fibers or blowing them out too bad and losing the definition in your stitches, because we don't want that. We want it to be pretty springy and still seeing this textured rib effect with the fillet. So I hope you enjoyed that tutorial. I hope that it made the instructions that much easier to understand. I did my best to write the pattern as simply put as I could possibly make it. If you have any questions, let me know. Feel free to reach out to my email or drop some comments on this video. Thanks you guys for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.